They thought you'd let it go, didn't they? They thought their actions wouldn't matter because you'd always be the kind one. You gave them kindness, respect, and patience. And what did they give in return? Disrespect, betrayal, pain. They never thought twice about their actions. They believed your silence meant they'd won. But silence isn't weakness, it's strength. Kindness doesn't mean letting people walk over you. It doesn't mean ignoring what they did. It means rising above it. It means holding your peace when they expect chaos. And one day, they'll feel it. That weight, that regret. They'll realize they lost someone who only wanted to see the best in them. They'll regret hurting you. And in your silence, they'll finally understand the power you held all along. You know how it feels, don't you? Giving your best to someone, thinking they'll see your heart, your intentions. You trust them, stand by them, and expect even a little respect in return. But instead, they take you for granted. Maybe it's a friend who only remembers you when they need something. Maybe it's someone close who never values what you do until it's gone. Or maybe it's a stranger who thinks your kindness is a weakness, a free pass to treat you however they want. It's frustrating, isn't it? That feeling of being overlooked, of being hurt by people you only wanted to help. You stay quiet because you think they'll understand eventually. But instead, they mistake your silence for acceptance. And then comes the breaking point. The moment you realize that no matter how much you give, some people will never see your worth. They'll keep taking and disrespecting until there's nothing left. But here's the truth. Their actions say more about them than they do about you. They expect you to react, to shout, to break down. They want to see you lose control, so they can feel like they've won. But you don't have to give them that. You don't have to let their actions define your worth. Your silence, your calm, your refusal to play their game, that's where your power lies. Because one day, when the dust settles, they'll realize what they lost. They'll regret hurting someone who only showed them kindness. And that regret? It will echo louder than any argument ever could. They thought they knew how this would go. They expected the usual anger, tears, maybe even a confrontation. They were ready for the fight, because that's how they've always won. But then, something happened that they didn't expect. You chose silence. You didn't shout. You didn't argue. You didn't waste your energy trying to make them understand. Instead, you let their actions speak for themselves. At first, they thought your silence was nothing. They thought it meant you didn't care, or that they'd won. But as time passed, that silence started to feel different. It wasn't weakness, it was strength. Because silence isn't empty, it's heavy. It's a mirror reflecting everything they tried to ignore. Without your reaction to distract them, they were left alone with their own actions, their own guilt. They wanted chaos, but you gave them calm. They wanted to feel powerful, but you took that power away by refusing to play their game. And now, they're left to face a truth they weren't prepared for. Your silence didn't just unsettle them, it took away their control. It reminded them that their actions have consequences, even if you don't spell it out for them. And in that moment, the power shifted. They realized that their disrespect couldn't break you, that their words didn't define you. They thought silence meant weakness, but now they see it's the strongest answer you could have given. And as they sit with their regret, you've already moved on, stronger than ever. Your silence doesn't end with you, it stays with them. At first, they might ignore it, brush it off like it doesn't matter. But silence has a way of growing louder with time. When you don't react, they're forced to sit with the weight of their own actions. The things they said, the ways they hurt you, they play it back in their minds, over and over. Without your response to deflect the blame, they're left to face themselves. And that's when it begins. The doubt, the regret, the guilt. They start to wonder if they went too far, if they pushed someone away who only ever showed them kindness. That realization, it stings, because they begin to see what they've lost. Your silence becomes a mirror, showing them the truth they tried to avoid. The disrespect, the betrayal, it all comes rushing back to them, clearer than ever. They can't escape it. They start to miss your kindness, the way you stood by them, the way you listened, the way you gave without asking for anything in return. And now, that kindness is gone, replaced by the emptiness they created. It's not anger that haunts them, it's the absence of your presence. It's the silence that reminds them of their mistakes, the silence that echoes with everything they took for granted. And the more they think about it, the heavier it becomes. Regret settles in. They realize they hurt someone who only wanted to see the best in them, someone who didn't deserve the pain they caused. That regret is their burden now, and as they struggle with it, you've already let go. You've moved on, leaving them behind to face the consequences of their own action. Your silence wasn't just for them, it was for you. It wasn't about ignoring what they did. It was about choosing yourself over the chaos they wanted to drag you into. Every moment you stayed silent, you were reclaiming your power. You were showing that their actions didn't control you, their words didn't define you. You decided that your peace was more valuable than their drama. That's what they never understood. They thought kindness was weakness. But real kindness, the kind you gave, comes from strength. It takes courage to give to others without expecting anything in return. It takes power to walk away when you know they don't deserve another piece of you. And now, look at where you are. You've grown, you've learned, you've become stronger, wiser, and more in control of your own life. Their disrespect didn't break you. It reminded you of your worth. It showed you who you are, a person who doesn't need validation from anyone, a person who knows that their value isn't tied to how others treat them. This isn't about revenge. It's about freedom. The freedom to live your life without carrying the weight of their action. The freedom to focus on what truly matters, your happiness, your growth, your peace. Every step you take forward is proof of your strength. Every time you choose silence over chaos, you're showing the world and yourself that you're unshaken, unbreakable. You didn't lose anything. They did. They lost someone who cared, someone who gave, someone who stood by them. And now they'll have to live with that. But you've already won, because you chose yourself. You chose to grow, and that choice will take you farther than they ever could. This is your power. This is your strength, and nothing they do can ever take it away. They thought they'd leave you broken, questioning your worth. They thought their disrespect would shatter you, but they were wrong, because you didn't just endure, you rose. You turned their betrayal, their words, their actions into fuel. You built yourself up in the silence they thought was defeat. They'll regret it, you know. They'll regret hurting someone who only ever showed them kindness. It might not hit them today or even tomorrow, but one day it will. That's the day they'll realize what they lost. They'll see the strength in you, the power in your silence. They'll remember how you never let their actions define you, how you chose to walk away with dignity. And that memory, it will stay with them long after you've moved on. But this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about the strength you found in the quiet, the peace you claimed when you chose to let go. Your silence wasn't a surrender, it was a victory. It was you saying, I won't let your actions take away my worth. It was you showing that no matter what they did, you were always strong. And now, look at you. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You've taken back your power, your peace, your life. You've proven that kindness isn't weakness. It's a choice only the strong can make. So let them regret. Let them remember. Let them sit with the consequences of their actions. That's their burden to carry now, not yours. Because you've already won. You've risen above their noise, their chaos, their disrespect. You've shown that no matter what they tried to take from you, they couldn't take your strength. And as you move forward, don't look back. Keep rising, keep growing, keep proving to yourself that you're unstoppable. Because in the end, the greatest revenge isn't anger, it's becoming everything they thought you couldn't be. Strong, unshaken, and free.